So, good morning. This is Emilio Nuzzolese. I am in Stockholm in the Forensic Medicine Department, and in front of me I have the privilege to interview Irena Dawidson, the only full-time forensic odontologist here in Stockholm. Good afternoon, Irena. Can you tell us something about your work here in Stockholm? What do you actually do? You dental human identification?
Yes. Um, the main job here is to identify deceased persons with, for me anyway, with dental comparison. I also do a lot of age estimation.
So, what is the in terms of identifiers? How is dental mean in combination with the other means?
Oh, it's a one of the primary identifiers, and here in Sweden it is the first one that is used, and usually about 95% of the unknown deceased are identified with dental comparison.
So that's why you are a full-time job here. What about the missing and unidentified persons? What is the scenario here in Sweden?
Well, it is the police that keeps the repository of missing people and unidentified bodies, and I keep a part of it. We describe the dental situation of these people, and usually, if they are identified, they are identified by dental means, because the other primers in identification are not available when it comes to missing people and unidentified bodies.
It seems that Sweden as a country has fully understood the importance of employing odontologists for human identification. What about your experience in DVI?
Oh, it's more or less the same. It is very important with the dental comparison when you have to identify many victims of disasters.
I've seen that you can see here in the monitor you're actually using DVI software which employs Interpol forms.
Yes.
What would you recommend to those countries where odontologists are rarely or never employed in the human identification?
Well, try it. You find out that it's the best way to identify dead people.
The best way to identify human identification, the recommendation of Irena Dawidson to employ odontologists for human identification in single cases and in DVI. Forensic human identification in relation to DVI. Now, DVI stands for what, Irena?
Disaster victim identification.
And why do we actually need to be trained in DVI?
Well, when it happens, it's too late to train.
That's right. So in DVI, there are what we call primary identifiers. And among the primary identifiers, what role has the dental means?
It's, in our country, at least, it's the most important, because the others, fingerprinting and DNA, are much more difficult to have comparison material from antemortem.
What about those? There are a lot of people, especially from police agency, that are a little bit skeptic about the dental mean because sometimes they say we don't have any antemortem dental information. What do you respond to this?
It doesn't happen all that often here, and because usually in Sweden people do go to the dentist, and the dentists are required by law to keep good dental records.
But nevertheless, the dental information that can be retrieved by an unidentified human remain can actually give us a generic profile, isn't that?
Well, it's more difficult when you have an absolutely unknown body. Then you have to start looking through the missing people in the repository of these.
Hmm.
And usually, if they are there, we'll find them.
So, in your experience, you seem very busy here in Stockholm because practically this country has fully recognized the importance of employing a forensic odontologist in the very aspects related to human identification and age estimation.
Yes, absolutely. Both here and in other Nordic countries as well.
What about the science, forensics, the National Forensic Odontology Society in Sweden?
Oh, it's alive and kicking.
Oh, good.
A lot of these people were very helpful when we were working with the victim identification after the tsunami disaster in Thailand in 2004.
And
So we
your
have a lot of.
involvement with the Interpol DVI Standing Committee?
Well, I'm a deputy chair at the Forensic Odontology Working Group.
Very good, and we are really happy to have you as a deputy chair because in this to this group we actually needed somebody with your huge experience in forensic odontology. Thank you for your time, Irena. Again,
Welcome.
Emilio Nuzzolese here in Stockholm, Forensic Medicine Department, December 2013. Thank you for your attention.